Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
A very warm welcome in the third module of week 7 of the course Roadmap for Patent Creation, titled Statutory Exceptions, that is anticipations. In this module, we will be discussing what are different statutory exceptions which are allowed. We know first to file rule. However, there are a few exceptions. So, which are these exceptions? Let us check that. India follows principle of absolute novelty. We can refer to section 2L and 13 of the Indian Patents Act. Now, what is that section 2L is about? We know section 2 is for definitions and section 2L is the definition of a new invention. What is that definition? We have gone through this definition several times now. It says new invention means any invention or technology which has not been anticipated by publication in any document or used in the country or elsewhere in the world before the date of filing of patent application with complete specification, that is, the subject matter has not fallen in public domain or that it does not form part of the state of the art. So, we can understand from this definition the absolute novelty is mandatory, no publication, no use. So, is there any procedure for searching this anticipation? Is there any guidelines? Yes. Section 13 provides procedures for searching anticipation. So, this section 13 of India Patents Act, it is titled as search for anticipation by previous publication and by prior claim. Now, it says there are two important things. The first important thing is the examiner shall make investigation for the purpose of ascertaining whether the claimed invention has been anticipated by publication before the date of filing of the applicant's complete specification. And the second thing is that whether it is claimed in any claim of any other complete specification published on or after the date of filing of the applicant's complete specification and being a specification filed in pursuance of an application for a patent made in India and dated before or claiming the priority date earlier than that date. Now, the second important thing is it is suggested that examiner shall, in addition to above mentioned search, that is a publication, and second is application on or after the date of filing of application, however, having reference of claiming priority of earlier patent. Do the further search as whether the invention so far as claimed in any claim of the complete specification has been anticipated by publication in India or elsewhere in any document other than those mentioned in subsection 1 before the date of filing of applicant's complete specification. And we know what are the other resources. We have checked this in the week 4 in one of the modules. We know which are the different resources where you will going to check this, whether the first time in the world is there, and we know that there are various resources. Thus, for a patent to qualify the test of absolute novelty, it must be determined that it is not anticipated. Now, please concentrate. One point we know that patent is published after 18 months. So, at any point that 18 months window is very critical. We have mentioned earlier also that when we prepare search report, we clearly mention that we cannot give any idea about this 18 months window. That is, which patent applications related to applicant's patent are filed in those 18 months are totally not known to anyone. That is, suppose somebody is filing a patent today, from today if you go back 18 months, this is like you are not aware which are the patent applications which are filed in that 18 months, right. So, that window is there. Nobody can give you guarantee about whenever somebody is doing search, nobody can give you guarantee about that 18 months window which are the patents which are filed, because nobody knows about that thing. Prior claim will cover instances where one application which is still in the dormant phase, that is in the 18-month unpublished phase. So, please note this will also may anticipate applicant's patent. It may be not what we can say in the search report, it may not be identified, but it may, if it is there, it will do the anticipation for that particular patent. Fine. Now, as we know procedure for examining anticipation, let us check a few exceptions which are mentioned in the Act. Section 18 gives, these are about the power of a controller in cases of anticipation. Now, controller will outright reject the application if, as above mentioned, if there is a prior publication and if or publication or of application on or after the date of filing of a applicant. However, having reference of claiming priority of a earlier patent. Examiner will search in all literature to confirm this, and we have seen how examiner exactly do the thorough examination. Thus, any prior publication will affect novelty and application will not be considered for a patent grant. This is what subsection 1 of section 18 of India Patent Acts says. Now, as mentioned, controller will refuse the application. Now, there are some important points, and if applicant proves that the controller may consider that application, which are these points, we have to check that thing. So, we will just see which are that points which will be helpful if that anticipation is there, and if you what exactly you have to prove. You have to satisfy that the priority date of the claim of this complete specification is not later than the date on which the relevant document was published, right, or applicant must amend his complete specification to the satisfaction of the controller. So, you have to do these two things and then you can just go further. Now, what is the procedure followed by the patent office to communicate to the applicant is that if they have to communicate about that anticipation or novelty thing, what is the rule? According to rule 28, it provides a procedure in case of anticipation by a prior publication. What that rule says is that the controller shall communicate the gist of specific objections and the basis to the applicant, and the applicant shall be afforded an opportunity to amend his specification. That is a important thing, communication by the patent office. As per rule 29, the controller allows a period of 2 months for removing, and we know that you have, if that objections are coming, you have to reply and you have to clarify that objections. If the applicant contests any of the objections, or if he reflects his specifications along with his observation as to whether or not the specification is to be amended, he shall be given an opportunity to be heard, that is a hearing. To give such opportunity, that hearing will be fixed, and we know that the controller that video conferencing facility is also there, or you can go in person and attend the hearing. Controller will fix a date and time for that hearing, right. So, applicant will be given a notice, at least 10 days notice for such hearing. So, he can plan for that particular hearing. After hearing, the applicant, or without any hearing, if the applicant has not attended, it may be possibility that applicant may not attend that hearing. If he is not sure about his invention, obviously he will not attend that hearing. But yeah, in any, or there may be any other reason, not necessary that this will be the reason. Ignorance is a major, what we can say, major reason. So, whatever that reason may be there, right, and if applicant, or on behalf of applicant, if nobody attends that thing, or it has been noticed that it does not desire to be heard, the controller may specify or permit such amendment of the specification as he thinks fit to be made, and may refuse to grant a patent. unless the amendment so specified or permitted is made within a stipulated time, obviously. So, timeline is again the important factor here. Nowadays, we have already seen that video conferencing or audiovisual communications you can use, and you can do hearing sitting in your office or anywhere, and then you can just connect and do the hearing. The Indian Patents Act expressly does not define what anticipation is. So, there is no any what we can say detailed things about that what anticipation is, but what are not anticipations that are mentioned in the act in section 29 to 34. Let us check that what are that not means anticipation. Now, here anticipation by previous publication, this is a section 29. Now, if the invention has been published prior to filing of a patent application, right. So, already published thing, and if the applicant or the patentee proves the matter published was obtained from him without his consent, right, then a complete specification filed shall not be deemed to have been anticipated. But that proving is very important, that the without consent that particular thing is published, that is a one thing. Anticipation by previous communication to government. Now, just concentrate on this section. This is a section 30. So, very important. If the invention has been communicated to government or any person authorized by the government for the purpose of investigation of the invention, then a complete specification filed shall not deem to have been anticipated. So, very important, right, and probably some few of you might have gone through this scenario. So, if the communication is to government and that specific means that purpose of that investigation means if government for that purpose of investigation, then obviously it is not a anticipation. Next is the anticipation by public display. It is a section 31. So, if invention is displayed in exhibition, there are so many exhibitions, right, trade exhibitions is there, then colleges or in that so many competitions are there, so all that thing. So, or the invention is described in a publication in a consequence of a display of the invention in such exhibition, or the invention has been used by any person without the consent of a true or first inventor, against the case that there is no consent and the invention is used, or a person deriving title from him after it has been displayed in such exhibition, or disclosing the invention before a learned society, or publishing the invention in the transactions of such society. Again, this is a very important section, that you are doing the before a learned society, you are publishing the invention, there is a discussion and all that thing, that will not be considered as a that anticipation, provided that application is filed within 12 months. So, you can get a grace period of 12 months, and from aforesaid public display, within that 12 months you have to file the complete specification, and then only means you can what we can say your patent will be, that application will be considered for a grant of a patent, right. So, this is the section 31. Now, anticipation by public working. There is a possibility that you have to do this activity to prove means as a trial. So, if the invention has been filed within 12 months after the invention has been publicly word, this probably will be for a reasonable trial considering the nature of the invention, then a complete specification shall not be deemed to be anticipated, right. So, that is a one what we can say, you can just check this section 32. Now, anticipation by use and publication after provisional specification. Now, you know already what is provisional, and you know that once you file provisional specification, you are getting the priority or securing the priority. So, what section 33 says that if the invention has been used and published after filing a provisional application, obviously you know that then a complete specification filed shall not be deemed to be having a anticipated, and we always take benefit of that provisional patent filing, right. Now, moving further, now whatever the anticipations are there, what are the anticipations are there, that what are not means if you do certain things and then they will be considered and you will be allowed to file the patent application, grace period of 12 months is given in some cases, and then you have to file patent and it will be considered for the grant. So, this is the that about the anticipation. Now, with this we come to the end of that, what are different kinds of anticipations and all that thing. Please watch this video.
Ventilator care is very expensive proposition because the ventilator itself is very expensive. It is very big, very bulky, only limited to hospital scenarios. So it's very hard to get a hold of one at the first place. Even if you do, it is very expensive to run in a very long time. Ventilator, we have been able to reduce the cost by 100 times, reduce the size by 450 times, and not only that, when we talk about the ventilator, it is also the world's most advanced ventilator that has ever been made. So this is how it looks like, can fit into any pocket as compared to a ventilator which is the size of a human, which you have seen in the board. Along with that, when we talk about this ventilator, this can be controlled by a mobile application via Bluetooth.
Ventilator which has been developed has the possibility to revolutionize healthcare delivery for these patients, not only in India, across the world, because everywhere the ventilatory care is extremely difficult and expensive, and people are looking for cheaper, cost-effective alternatives.
छोटा है, इसको हम जहाँ हमारी व्हील चेयर बैठा कर ले जा भी सकते हैं, घुमा भी सकते हैं इसको ले जाके। बड़े वेंटिलेटर को हम कहीं ले जा भी नहीं सकते, घर में अफोर्ड भी नहीं कर सकते, इतना महंगा वेंटिलेटर है वो तो, और इसमें ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर भी चाहिए रोज़ के, वो कहाँ से लाएंगे पैसे। हम नौकरी पेशा आदमी हैं, 4 साल तो हो गया हॉस्पिटल में यहाँ पर। हम ही जगी हुई है इसके कि ये वेंटिलेटर कामयाब हो जाए।
At this point of time, the conventional ventilators, the simplest of the ventilators are costing 5 to 6 lakh rupees. That is the simplest one. The ventilators which can have the same functionality as this one are costing close to 10 to 15 lakh rupees as well. Now, 15 lakh rupees to 15,000 rupees, 100 times of difference is what we're talking about, and at least 50 times of difference from the least kind of ventilators that are there in the market as well.
With this, we come to the end of the session. See you in the next session. Thank you.